All right, so let's do number 12. They're giving us this graph of f of x. And then they want us to find g of 5, g prime of 5, and g double prime of 5, given that g is the integral from -1 to x of the f graph. So immediately I notice I'll need to take the derivative and the second derivative, so let's just start there. The first derivative of g involves taking the derivative of this integral, meaning we'll use FTCII, and we'll plug in the top times its derivative, which is 1, minus plugging in the bottom, and it's the derivative of a constant is just 0. So we can just condense that as g prime of x equals f of x. And while we're at it, let's find the second derivative by taking the derivative on both sides. Okay, these are the two that we'll use. So let's begin by doing g of 5. So g of 5 is simply plugging into the integral in the upper limit. G prime of 5, well, we'll have to plug that into, g prime is nothing more than f, so g prime of 5 is just f of 5, and then g double prime of 5 is going to be f prime of 5. So here's what you need to notice. In the first guy, we're actually finding an area because it's an integral. In the second one, we're just finding the value or the height of the graph when x is 5. And in the third case, we're actually finding the slope of f. So let's start with the area from -1 to 5. The area from -1, let's do this in red. From -1 until 5, well, we're going forward, so it's going to be a positive area, and I'll drop perpendicular from the sharp corner. I have two triangles. So since this says 3, I know that that's a distance of 3, that that's a height of 6. And so 3 times 6 is 18 divided by 2. This area is going to be 9. If this is 3 and this is 5, then I know this distance is 2, the height is 6. 6 times 2 is 12, divided by 2 is 6. So that means that the area is going to be positive 9 plus 6, 15. That's what g of 5 is. Now let's do g prime of 5, which is f of 5. So we just simply go to where x is equal to 5, which is right here, and find the value of the graph, the height on the f graph, which is 0. And then finally, we need f prime of 5, so we'll go to where x is 5, which is right here, but now we want f prime, so we want the slope. So we'll just do rise over run, using the 2 points on that line, which will be 3, 6, and 6, -3, or we can use the slope formula, which is the change in y over the change in x. I'll go ahead and use this guy first. So I'll do 6, which is the y value, minus -3, so it'll be 6 plus 3. So I got my two y values taken care of. And now over x, which is 3, minus the second x value, which is 6, I get 9 over -3. So the slope here is -3. And that's how we get g of 5, g prime of 5, and g double prime of 5.